My whole life has changed since you came in. I knew back then.
Shut your lame ass up, nigga.
Hey guys, Marv here. This is going to be a little compilation of all the videos of The Walking Dead Season 1, but it's also a test to see what I'm going to do for Season 2. I was planning on either doing 2 longer, shorter videos, if that makes sense, or 1 really long video of the whole season, but we'll see. I hope y'all enjoy. We start off with Rick and Shane eating lunch, having a friendly conversation about his relationship with his wife, which is not going too good right now. They get an urgent call about some criminals on their walkie-talkies. They pull up to the scene, set up some roadblocks, post up, and wait for the criminals. They run over the trap and hit the jello ball.
I might swerve in that corner, whoa, whoa. Bitch, hold on tight, cause I tweak in this bitch, I letting shit go.
The car flips over and all the cops start moving in slowly. The criminal pops out, but he brings a strap with him. They start having a shootout, and no lie, these dudes got the worst aim I have ever seen. Y'all are jumping one person in a shootout, and who's the first to actually get shot after y'all miss like 50 bullets? Rick! It's a damn shame. Y'all make stormtroopers look nice.
Bruh.
Nigga, it's right in front of you. How are you missing? And then you have the nerve to check the gun like it's the problem.
This nigga is trash.
After Rick gets shot, the whole squad decides to finally lock in. And they shoot the criminal up like Justin Bieber in that one episode of CSI. Bro, why was he spazzing out like this? Another one pops out with a shotgun, but they make easy work of him. Rick tells everyone that he's okay and the bullet only hit his vest. He's talking to Shane, and out of nowhere, he actually gets shot. Shane shoots the last criminal and tries to help Rick, who is about to bleed out to death. Some time passes and we see Shane visiting Rick in the hospital to give him some flowers. Hey bro, if you don't wake up soon, I'm gonna fuck your wife. Even more time passes and Rick looks to the side to see the flowers that Shane gave him. So you know it's been a fat minute because the flowers are dead. He tries to get out of the bed, but he immediately falls down looking just like a Life Alert commercial. He makes his way out the room and walks down the hallway. He looks through a door to see a dead employee halfway eaten. He walks on the other side only to find another door that says don't open, dead inside with a lock on it. That shit starts to move and hands start popping out the door. Rick is horrified, as he should. He runs into a dark ass room, finds his way outside, and he ain't seen sunlight for a while, so you know that shit felt like he got hit by a flashbang. He makes his way outside and all he sees is dead bodies wrapped in white cloth, and I know that shit stank. Rick walks up a hill and sees a bunch of military vehicles, and from what it looks like, they got bodies. Now here's something I will never understand about this show. How in the world does the military get bodied by these zombies? Now I understand that it's early in the apocalypse and they probably don't know how to fight it, but there's a simple solution. If a body shot don't work, then it's gotta be the head, right? There, problem solved. And these zombies are trash.
What?
These aren't no World War Z zombies where they're doing shit like this for kills. If you in World War Z and you get bit, you have 12 seconds to amputate if you can even do that before you're cooked. The Walking Dead verse literally has zombies on easy mode. It literally gets to a point in this show where the zombies aren't even a problem anymore. It's regular niggas. I don't know what to say other than the military in this show is straight buns. Rick finds a bike and he heads home, and this shit is so sad, I'm not even gonna lie. He starts calling out for his son and wife, but nobody's there. He's literally bawling his eyes out, and to make it worse, he still don't know what's really going on. He heads outside and Dwayne walks behind him and hits him with a shovel. Morgan walks up to him, puts a gun in his head, and was like,
LeBron James, Diddy Crack, name 5 DDG songs.
Rick passes out and he wakes up in a bed. Morgan asks him about his gun wound because he thinks it might be a bite. Morgan sets Rick free and tells him to come out whenever he can. Rick walks out and joins Dwayne and Morgan for dinner, and Rick starts talking about that man, you killed him. Now I know he still doesn't know what's really going on, but at the same time, he's seen enough to know that something is not right. My guy, does this look like a man to you, nigga? That's a walker. They finish eating and are about to go to bed, but suddenly a car alarm starts to go off. Dwayne looks out the window talking about she's here, and Dwayne runs to his bed and starts to cry. A zombie walks up to the door and just starts looking at it. Not only that, it starts to mess with the doorknob. Bro, hell nah. And these niggas let this happen on the regular. We find out that zombie was Morgan's wife, and he starts trying to talk about I know, man, I should have put her down. Yeah, no shit. I ain't gonna lie, this is my wife or my mom. I'm putting her down immediately. You wanna know how Dwayne dies in this show? His mom kills him. That's not finna be me. Mom, if you ever turn, I will not hesitate to put you down. Love you, Mom.
They head to Rick's house, and Rick lets Morgan know that he knows his family's still alive. Morgan tells Rick that if they are alive, they're probably in Atlanta. Rick grabs his keys, they head to the police station to load up on guns. They all go their separate ways. We see Morgan, who has his wife in his sights, but he can't pull the trigger. Brother, that is not your wife, just shoot. Rick's driving and he's trying to use his walkie to contact other people. A group of people can hear him, but he can't hear them. And he says he's on his way to Atlanta.
Shane gets to the walkie and tries to talk to Rick, but he gets no response. Shane talks to Lori, who is Rick's wife, and they start kissing. Oh, hell nah. Rick was in a coma for at least a month, and you already got with his best friend not even a year into the apocalypse?
She belongs to the streets.
Hey, what y'all niggas doing? Rick's car runs out of gas, so he leaves to go find someone who has some. He finds a house, but when he gets to the door, no one answers. He checks the back of the house, and he sees God Forgive Us on the wall. Oh, and the family that was in the house, they off themselves. I ain't gonna show it though. Rick finds a car, but it doesn't work. But he also does find a horse. Rick starts talking to the horse like it's a person. Hey buddy, you trying to go to Atlanta with me? They got food, money, and huz. And the horse was like, say less. Rick finally makes it to the city and he walks past this car with walkers, but he pays them no mind. And this right here was his sign to get the F out the city, bruh. That is a red flag. The next thing he does is just so stupid. Watch this. Oh, hell nah. Now, Rick, I do understand that Morgan told you the military had Atlanta locked down. But as soon as you saw a dead soldier on a tank, you should have known those niggas got cooked. Like, brother, you saw it with your own eyes. The military is trash. And even after all you've seen, you still have the nerve to just be like, oh, I guess the others must be alive, right? Like, no, what is wrong with you, bruh? Rick hears a helicopter and he tries to follow it, but he ends up running into a horde of zombies and hits the dash. They get cornered and Rick falls off the horse. And you know little bro got used his beat. R.I.P. Rick climbs under a tank and starts to shoot the zombies. And at this point, Rick knows he's cooked. So he was really about to off himself right here, but he notices there's a hole under the tank that he can crawl through. He gets in the tank and ends up next to a dead soldier who he realizes is a walker, and he booms it. He shot the gun so close to his ear that he is now discombobulated. Rick looks outside and realizes his bag is still out there. And look at all these zombies on this tank right here. I ain't gonna lie, if I was him, I would have ended it. I just don't understand. Why would you go to the city in a zombie apocalypse? I don't care if the military was even still there. Bro, do you know how many people are in a city? If I was Rick, I don't care how long it would take. I'm going around the city, bro. I'm not going in that. Rick hears someone on the walkie-talkie.
Hey, dumbass, you cozy in there?
And then we see the camera slowly zoom out, and we can see how screwed Rick really is.
You are watching a master at work.
So we left off with Rick getting stuck in this situation. Yeah, bro's cooked. And crazy thing is, while he's getting swarmed by all of these zombies, his wife is getting freaky with his best friend. And like I said in part 1,
She belongs to the streets.
Rick suddenly hears a voice on the radio.
Hey, you alive in there?
Yep, I'm cooked, aren't I?
Hell yeah, you see how many walkers are out there?
You got any advice for me?
Yeah, I'd say make a run for it.
What?
That's it? Make a run for it?
Is this nigga serious?
I would have the same reaction to that answer, cause look what is outside. Glen and Rick start setting up a game plan to help Rick get out safely. Rick equips a grenade, a shovel, and hops out the tank. And as soon as he opens the latch, there is a zombie waiting for him, and he smacks it in the face. He jumps off the tank and starts popping heads. He runs into Glen and almost kills him 6 seasons too early. RIP the GOAT. Don't say I'm spoiling in the comments. This nigga has been dead for almost 10 years. Glen and Rick climb a ladder to safety and they go inside of a building. And when they get down the stairs, 2 zombies pull up. But 2 dudes in armor equipped with bats come in with the assist and take them out. As soon as they get inside, Rick is held at gunpoint by Andrea, who's crashing out because Rick low-key screwed them. They only came here to scavenge for items, so when Rick was popping heads off, he brought a whole army of zombies to the area. And these zombies did not come to play. They're already trying to break down the door to get to them. And the worst part about it, one of them has a brick breaking down the door. Yeah, they're cooked. They try to use their walkie-talkie to contact their group, but they have no signal, and out of nowhere, They get to the roof to see what's going on, and we see who's shooting the gun. Merle. T-Dog starts getting on his ass, and Merle calls him a racial slur.
Wait.
For obvious reasons, I can't play the whole clip, but if you know, you know. We all know this shit would not slide in 2025. The actor and the show would get canceled. Sad times we live in. These Gen Z niggas are soft. They just recently put a disclaimer out on Rush Hour, one of the greatest comedy movies of all time, and they put a disclaimer out 20 plus years later. Y'all make me sick. Y'all pray for me. This is who I got protecting my country. If World War III happens, I'm cooked. Y'all don't get too mad in the comments. It's a joke, bro. And of course, T-Dog tries to stand on business after getting called a slur. But T-Dog ends up missing his punch, and Merle socks him in the face with his gun. Rick tries to jump in, and Merle was not finna let that happen. Damn near punch Rick out the camera.
That's tough.
Merle kicks T-Dog, punches him again, and sends him flying into this metal thing. And you would think he would be done after all of this. But no, he starts going to town on T-Dog. And this fight should really be the other way around. Merle is really out here fighting like he's the one who got called a slur. Merle pulls out a gun and decides he's not gonna shoot him. He's just gonna spit on him. He gets up talking about some,
"You think you're the king? I'm the king."
Shut your brain.
Rick handcuffs Merle and lets him know that he's not going to be acting crazy up in here. Rick gets an idea to see if maybe they can go into the sewers to escape. Glen and Martinez head into the sewers, and they did not find a Ninja Turtle. Not only was the way blocked off, but there was a walker snacking on a rat.
Hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
So now they have to come up with another way to get out. The zombies break through one layer of doors, which means they only got one layer left. So now they got to find a solution fast. And Rick comes up with a genius idea to rub zombie guts on everyone so they can blend in, which is actually a really good idea. Glen and Rick walk out and start navigating through the zombies. But you already know some BS has to happen. It starts raining and the rain is washing away their scent. And the zombies start to realize,
Say, hold up. Wait a minute.
and they start chasing Rick and Glen. They fight their way through the zombies and eventually jump a fence. Rick holds off the zombies while Glen gets the keys. He finally gets the keys and they head for the car. And while they're doing that, there is a zombie climbing the fucking fence like he is a regular human. This is some shit you see in World War Z. They be climbing each other to climb over shit. They drive off, but the zombies break down the fence. Rick and Glen come up with a game plan to draw the zombies away from the store where everyone else is at. They both get their own whips and turn on their alarms to draw the zombies away. Everyone else gets ready to get out while Merle is begging T-Dog to save his life. And T-Dog is better than me because I for damn sure would have left his ass to die. T-Dog tries to help, but he ends up tripping and drops the key into this hole. Merle starts tweaking out, but he really got himself stuck in this situation, so whose fault really is it? T-Dog leaves him and meets up with the group. The group meets up with Rick to get in the truck and get to safety. They dip and we cut to Glen riding in his new whip having the time of his life while blasting that new Travis Scott. Glen pulls up with the car alarm still on. Did he already forget walkers are attracted to sound? The rest of the squad pulls up and Rick reunites with his son and his wife. She over here hugging him like she really cares, which is cap. Rick was in a coma for a little longer than a month. And when Rick wakes up, it only takes him 2 to 3 days to find his family. So it only took Lori 1 month to just be like, welp, I guess I'm gonna move on. And I keep saying this.
She belongs to the streets.
It's the next day and they stripping Glen's new car for resources and he's tight as hell. And you can't even blame him, the whip is too cold. Out of nowhere there's a scream.
Break your son.
And they run to see what's up. And it's a walker snacking on Bammy's mom. It gets up and they start jumping it.
Fight back, nigga! Fight back, nigga! Fight back!
Shane hears something, but it's just Merle's brother, Daryl. Daryl starts calling for Merle and Shane says he has something to talk to him about. Let me say it, your brother is a racist dickhead, so I handcuffed his ass to the roof.
And you left him there?
Yeah.
And Daryl starts swinging, but Shane shuts him down. Rick explains to Daryl that he did what he did because his brother does not work well with others. And T-Dog spills the beans.
I had the key. I dropped it. Got chained the door to the roof so the geeks couldn't get at him.
Oh God.
Nigga, that chain and that padlock did not do shit. Rick, T-Dog, Glen, and Daryl head out to go and save Merle. And Shane is trying to tell Rick we need everyone here to protect camp. But Rick tells him what he really needs is guns, and he has some in the bag that he left in the city. They arrive outside of the city and start to walk. And while that's happening, Andrea's trying to defend Carol from her husband, who pulls her away and slaps her like a pimp named Slickback. Shane sees this and gets to work. He pulls Ed to the side and he starts beating the shit out of him, as he should. And you can tell their relationship is toxic as hell. Even with him slapping the shit out of her, she still walks to him saying that she's sorry. We're back on the group in the city and they did not find Merle, but they did find a bloody saw and Merle's hand. We're starting off where we last left off in part 2, with the gang coming to save Merle. And if you saw part 2, you know Merle is not there. Daryl saw his brother's hands and he was on straight demon timing. And he aims his crossbow at T-Dog, ready to end his life. But Rick got that Hall of Fame quick draw and does the same to Daryl. And Rick was like, calm your ass down. I will not hesitate. I don't care if every walker in the city hears it. And Daryl knows Rick isn't playing and he stands down. Daryl picks up his brother's hand and he puts it in Glen's backpack and then continue the search. They pull up to a room that has the stove on and some fresh blood. But we also see a broken window. So now they know he's not even in the building anymore. No cap, he might be cooked. Man, shut your ass up. This is your fault. I'm gonna go get my brother. I don't blame you for acting like this, but I can't help you if you don't chill out. We cut to camp and everyone is pulled up on Jim. And he's been pre-digging graves all day. Shane tries to talk him down. Bro, give me the shovel. Or what, you gonna beat my ass like you did Ed? Shane tries to take the shovel and Jim swings on him. He weaves that shit real quick, puts him on the ground and handcuffs him. And Shane is still trying to talk him down, telling him no one's gonna hurt you. And Jim says this.
The two boys have said it 100 times.
And we find out the only reason Jim is alive is because walkers were too busy eating his family. So basically he's been crashing out over the death of his family and now he has PTSD. But I ain't gonna lie, that causing you to pre-dig graves is crazy work. We're back on the squad in the city and Glen is explaining his plan to get the bag of guns. They split up into two groups, Glen and Daryl and T-Dog and Rick. Glen goes to get the bag of guns while Daryl covers him. He gets snuck and this dude starts screaming a Udemy like he an animal who need help and go Diego go. Like, bro, shut up. There's walkers all over the place. Rick and T-Dog hear this shit and they start running to see what's going on. Daryl knocks his ass on the ground and tries to cover his mouth. But his buddies come in and they start jumping Daryl. Glen pulls up with the guns and the randoms try to take the bag from him. While they jump Glen, Daryl shoots one of them in the ass. A car pulls up and the randos take Glen. T-Dog and Rick finally pull up, but it's too late and they make their way out. They capture the kid and start interrogating him. He takes them to their base and they pull up with some firepower. The door is open and out comes the leader. Look, we're just here to trade off our people. Glen, for the boy. Where are my bag of guns? What's gonna stop me from me and my people blasting your ass up right now? And Rick was like, I don't think you wanna do that. I got my nigga T-Dog playing Sniper Elite ready to JFK yo bitch ass. The leader shows Glen and is ready to throw him off the building. You see, there's two options. You give me my bag of guns and Miguel, or you come back ready to fight. So they leave to come up with a new game plan. Daryl tells Rick they need the guns and that Glen isn't worth it. And Rick explains to Daryl that he just can't leave Glen. He saved his life. You really finna hand over the guns? I didn't say I was. Rick says that they can go back to camp and he'll do this himself. But Daryl and T-Dog some real ass niggas and they go with them. They pull back up to the enemy base. I see my guns, but they're not all in the bag. That's cause they're not yours, fool. You have your man, I want mine. And the boss starts saying some crazy ass shit. Starts talking about how he's gonna feed Glen to some dogs. But as we all know by now, Rick does not play that shit.
Are you willfully deaf?
My hearing's fine. You said come locked and loaded. Okay, then we're here.
Woo! Bro is too clean, that's what I'm talking about. Rick and his squad pulled up, looking like the Straw Hats coming to save Robin. Ready to turn this shit into Ennis Lobby. That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT! And out of nowhere, Felipe grandma pull up talking crazy. No, please don't take Felipe. And she thinks that Rick is trying to arrest her grandson. We're just looking for our friend. I take you to him. And as they walk around, they see old people all over the place. And we find out these people ain't even a gang. They're just good people taking care of old people. And they were bluffing about sliming out Glen. Rick hands over the gun so these people can defend themselves. And they head back to the car, but their car's not even there anymore. They assume that Merle took it and he's probably heading back to camp for some revenge. So they run back, and while they do that, everyone at camp is chilling, enjoying dinner. Well, everyone but Ed. He's asleep. Suddenly he hears a sound. I thought I told y'all to leave me alone.
Oh shit!
And Ed ends up getting jumped by walkers. And bro, he was so cooked. Look at how fast this walker snatches him by the head. He stood no chance. We see Andrea's sister walking out of the van and boom, she gets bit. Everyone else finally catches on what's going on and they start to fight back. And goddamn, Andrea's sister got another chunk taken out of her. Bitch, move! Jim takes out the zombie and Andrea's sister is cooked. Everyone starts heading for the RV and Rick and his squad finally pull up and they clear out all the zombies. And Jim was like, damn, Now I remember why I dug all those graves.
Shut your
It's the next day and they're cleaning up all the bodies all over camp. She's been over there all night. What do? We can't leave the body there. We gotta do something. Andrea, back your stupid ass up. And Rick did not want no smoke and he backs off. Daryl was trying to tell him to put Andrea's sister down because he didn't want to risk her turning, which is reasonable because Andrea is taking her sweet time. Like, bro, she already cooked. Just shoot her. Jackie notices that Jim got bit. Please don't tell anybody. I got you. Hey, yo, Walker bit this nigga. T-Dog grabs him and Daryl shows the bite. And Jim's crazy ass was talking about some, I'm okay. No, you're not, brother. You're cooked. We need to kill him now. And even Dale agreed. And you know it's a good choice when Dale is on your side. He's literally one of the most level-headed people in the group. But Rick wasn't trying to kill Jim. And he lets him know that the CDC is making a cure. And Shane brings up going to a military base instead of going to the CDC. And Rick was like, bro, that idea is shit. All the military is cooked. We need to go to the CDC now. Andrea's sister starts to come back as a walker, and Andrea's just sitting there waiting to get bit. Her sister opens her eyes and starts trying to eat Andrea, and everyone is watching like, what the hell is wrong with her? And she finally shoots her sister in the head. Rick tells Lori that Shane blames him for the attack on the camp, and she says they were both in the right. They needed weapons, but you also needed people to defend the camp, which is true. They check up on Jim, and he's not doing too good. You save a grave for me? Nobody wants that. It's not about what y'all want, bro. I'm cooked. Shane tells Lori that Rick's idea to go to the CDC is ass, and she says she doesn't care. She's gonna back up her husband. And Rick walks in wondering what they're talking about. But they just end the conversation there and start to go on a sweep. You know, if you go to the CDC, you're going to be by yourself. That's fine. I got to do what's best for my family. Why can't you back me up on this? If this was your family, you'd feel different. And Shane was like, hold on, your family? I took care of them like they was my own. And suddenly they hear a random branch break and they try to find the source of the sound. Shane ends up getting a shot on Rick and he's getting ready to end his life, but he ends up not doing it. And Dale sees all of this. And Shane was trying to play it off, talking about some, woo, we're going to have to start wearing some reflective vests out here.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Bro obviously had the intent to kill. Look at the look in his eyes. That's pure evil. Shane tells everyone that he trusts Rick and wants to go to the CDC, and that everyone who agrees can come with him and Rick to the CDC. Rick wakes up in the morning to tell Morgan they're going to the CDC, and Merle says him and his family are not going. Rick and Shane give him and his family guns and ammo, and everybody heads out. The RV ends up breaking and now they're stranded. Hey, this nigga Jim is cooked, and Rick goes to check on him. We'll be back on the road soon. It's too late for me, man. Just leave me. I'm cooked. And Jim tells Rick one more time to just leave him. Rick tells everybody else this and they all agree to leave Jim. We cut and we see a scientist who's at the CDC right now, and he's running tests on infected DNA. He accidentally spills some acid and gets it on his suit, so he has to go into the shower and get cleaned off. And the lab does a deep contamination, which destroys the samples. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I just destroyed the samples, so no cure. We're all cooked. They pull up to the CDC and there's nothing but bodies everywhere, and they make their way through. I ain't gonna lie, this is such a scary sight to see. Like, bro, a whole area of dead soldiers. These are the people that are supposed to defend us when shit like this goes down. The scientist alarm goes off and he can see the group pulling up, but the doors are locked and walkers start to pull up. The scientist is just watching all of this goes down, and Rick knows he's in there watching, and he starts begging him to let them in.
You're killing us! You're killing us!
And the doors open. They walk in and the scientist reveals himself. He takes them to the lab and Rick asks where everyone else is at, and the scientist says he's the only one left. Everyone gets a blood test and they have some dinner, and they're having a good time, and Rick decides to have a toast for the doctor. So where are the other doctors at? Shane, you gotta chill, bro. We're celebrating. Nah, bro. Why is this nigga the only one here? I ain't gonna lie, I agree with Shane. He asking the real questions. I'm gonna be completely honest. They either dipped or they offed themselves. Then why did you stay? Because I wanted to do some good. The doctor shows everyone in their rooms and everyone is enjoying the hot water in the showers. And you know damn well that they stink. I have not seen them attempt to bathe one time. It was doing stuff like this in season 1, bro, and you know damn well they're not taking showers. You know what? While we're on the topic of stinky niggas, you wanna know who stinks? The Whisperers. I just know their scent is foul. I can smell them through the screen. They wear masks made of walkers. No way you get snuck by them. You can smell them before you see them. Lori's all alone and Shane pulls up on her, talking about some, why you treating me like this? It's weird. Bro acting like he wasn't the one who told her husband was dead. You said he was dead when he's clearly alive. There was no pulse. I thought he was dead. And Shane starts crashing out trying to explain why he left Rick. And this nigga Shane tells Lori that he loves her. And then this weirdo tries to assault her. Like, bro.
You's a freaky ass nigga!
and she scratches him on the face. And this is the beginning of the Shane crash out arc. Bro was moving insane in season 2. While we're on this topic of Shane and Lori, I would like to further elaborate my stance on their relationship. In my previous 2 videos on The Walking Dead, I said Lori was for the streets, and I still stand by that.
She belongs to the streets.
Some of y'all in the comments said I was too harsh on Lori and not harsh enough on Shane. And I'm not gonna lie, yes, I was harder on Lori. But my genuine opinion is that they're both in the wrong. Even though Shane did think Rick was dead, he still got with his presumed dead best friend's wife within a short amount of time. And I ain't gonna lie, that's some grimy shit. It's like he was camping his wife out with how fast he was moving. And then Lori gets with Shane, and again, I know she thinks her husband is dead, but like, bro, there just wasn't enough time for this to be okay in my opinion. Now y'all can stop getting on me in the comments. We're back to the main room, and the scientist shows everyone the brain of an infected person. And we see the zombie virus invades the brain and shuts everything off. But we also see the brain has some activity, but not like before. And Dale notices there's a timer going down, and he asks what it's for. And the scientist says the power is gonna go out, and he walks out. Rick asks the AI in the facility what happens when the power goes out. Oh, this shit gonna blow up. They all pull up on the scientist, and they only got 30 minutes to dip before this shit gets boomed. And before they could leave, the scientist locks everyone in. They're trying to tell him to open it up, but he says he can't. And Shane immediately grabs a shotgun and starts pressing this nigga. Open this door right now! And he starts shooting all over the place. Bro was going crazy, and Rick knocks his ass out. The scientist opens the door and decides to let everybody leave. And before Rick leaves, the doctor tells him one thing. Now, we don't hear what he tells Rick, but we learn what he told him in season 2. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Everyone is infected. Yes, everyone. But the only way for you to turn is you have to die. So it's bad, but not that bad. And I ain't even gonna lie, you got a higher chance of dying to a human in this show than you are a walker. These things are ass. Everyone but Jackie, Andrea, and the scientist leave. And Dale stays back to try and talk Andrea out of staying. And this nigga Dale was like, if you're gonna stay and off yourself, I guess I'm just gonna do it too. You know, I don't want to face what's outside alone. Brother, what exactly do you mean alone? You got a whole group. Dale's plan works and they escape the building. Jackie holds hands with the scientist and the CDC goes boom. They all drive off, and that's the end of season 1. I really like season 1. It's just a vibe. I like the idea that they don't have any idea what a zombie is before the infection. I find it really interesting how they navigate the world after the outbreak, because they don't have anything to go off of. No comic books, no video games, no movies, just themselves. Season 1 of this show is just absolute cinema. And now that we're wrapped up with season 1, you already know season 2 is coming up next. So y'all be patient, bear with me. Thank you for watching. Mharvv out.